Hello. It's good to see you. Today, we're just going to do a quick little video, just a little update to let you know about some of the stuff that's just been going on in my life in the last little bit. First of all, I just came from getting my hair done. I got about 4 inches cut off my hair. I kind of felt like it was time to do something. It was starting to look a little scraggly. It's getting a little long, so I decided to get it cut a little bit shorter. Every now and then I do that. It's, it's a common thing that I do. So I got it cut a little bit shorter. I really like it. I think it's going to be, it already feels better. It just, to me, I think it looks and feels better with that extra bit cut off. So back in the spring, I went through a very, very stressful period of time for about 3 months, and I started to experience hair loss. So it's kind of, I'm still dealing with the fallout, no pun intended, of that. So yeah, I just felt that cutting it back a little bit would make it look a little better. So I did that today. I just came from there, and it was really a pleasant experience. I had to recently change hairdressers. If you follow my vlog channel, I've mentioned that. I used to go to someone else, and she moved her shop out of town and is now about 40 minutes away. So it's like an 80-minute round trip to get there. And it wasn't a problem when I was working from home. And I could take it, I could take a morning and go do that. And I had very flexible work hours, but I don't have that anymore. So I found somebody else, and I'm very happy. I like her work, so I'm very pleased, and it's within a reasonable driving distance from home, so it's worked out great. Today at lunch, I went to Aldi, and I went to one that I don't normally go to. I think we have 4 Aldi locations in the city where I live, and this is one that I don't normally go to. It was actually very nice. I've only been in this Aldi maybe one time before, and it's for an Aldi, it's pretty nice. It's nicer than the one I'd normally go to. And I went in there because I don't know if you knew, but the Aldi fall merchandise came out today, and so they have pajamas, hoodies, backpacks, shoes, insulated water things, and what else do they have? They had some well, down here in the South we call them toboggans, knit caps. I know it's very confusing if you tell somebody up north you're going to put a toboggan on your head. That sounds kind of it's funny. Where I grew up, we called them boggins instead of toboggan because we shorten everything, and words that aren't long, we make them long. We take 1-syllable words and add extra syllables for no reason. But we take the word toboggan and we turned it into boggin. And I grew up calling them boggins. And I didn't know, I didn't hear the term toboggan until I got older. And then I figured out from the context that they meant the hats. My first husband was from Massachusetts, and the first time I told him I needed to get a new toboggan, he was very confused. He said, "What do you need? You need a new one? I mean, how did you wear out a toboggan in the South? You don't get snow down there." And so we had this very confusing conversation because I said, "Well, you don't need snow. You don't have to have snow to need a toboggan in the winter." And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. He's going, "What?" So finally I figured out, oh, you mean like a sled, not a hat. I'm referring to a hat. So it was one of the many things. And he moved down here with me. It's a whole story, but he had to learn a lot. He had never had Cheerwine. He had never had Biscuitville. I got to introduce him to all of these things, and yeah. So but that has nothing to do with anything. It just made me think of it. They had these knit caps in different colors and designs, and I wanted to get some of the merchandise before it all got gone. So I decided I would go to Aldi on my lunch hour, and that was the closest one to where I work. So I went to one of the 4 Aldis in town, and I bought some stuff, and then I actually went to another Aldi after I got done getting my hair done and got some more stuff because I didn't get it initially, but then I got to thinking, yeah, I think I actually want that. So I went to another one and picked up some more stuff. So we're going to be doing a video later, not today, but we're going to do a video later looking at all the fall Aldi merchandise. I didn't get one of everything, but I got one of almost everything. So I'm really excited because I kind of wanted to get some new pajamas for winter, and they have these nice cozy soft pajamas, like long sleeve shirt and long pants, and they had them in these different designs. They're very cute. I'm going to show them to you. And while I was there, I picked up a sneak peek. This is for next week, starting September 27th. They didn't have a sneak peek last week. I didn't even know about the fall merchandise being available today because they didn't. Normally it would be in the sneak peek, but we didn't get one last week. But I get the email, the Aldi email, and they show you, oh, here's the stuff that's available today, and that's where I saw it. I said, oh no, I gotta go get it because I want some and I want to share it. I want to show you all the fun stuff. But they have other fun stuff. They're gonna have these little Halloween gnomes and these little decorative pillows and little bats that you can put up on your wall. Lots of fun things. You know, I save these. I go in and I try to grab one of these every week, and I save them until I have 4 or 5, and then we do a video looking at them. But like I say, some weeks you can't, they just don't have one. I don't know if the store just never got them in or what. You can get the Huntington Home 25-foot spider web and spiders. Oh, it's an outdoor decoration, and it includes the lawn stakes. Look, I gotta get that. That's $14.99. I want spiders crawling up my house. That would be so cool. But look at this. You can also get this 5-foot tall posable skeleton. He's only $29.99. It's fantastic. We have some area rugs, a little rectangular storage ottoman. But you know what? When I was in that Aldi today at lunch, do you know what they already had out a week early? And there was only one of them. The skeleton. I got this big old honking skeleton. He's 5 feet tall, and there's a little bit of assembly involved. Up here you can see the Huntington Home little logo up there. Well, I got the skeleton. You know, we already have one fully posable skeleton. And now he's got a friend. So my younger son and I were talking about dressing him up. So he said, now we get to dress up too. I said, yeah. He is a 5-foot tall posable skeleton. And he's $29.99. I originally saw him when I went in to get the Aldi stuff. And I saw they only had this one. And I almost picked it up. But I had my hands full of the Aldi merchandise. And I didn't have a cart. And so this man, I was looking at the knit hats, and this man comes walking by with a very Canadian accent. I'm not going to try to imitate it. I know a Canadian when I see and hear one because I worked with one for 20 years. Nice people. He's the nicest man. I don't work with him anymore. He is heading into retirement now, but nicest man. Oh my gosh. So this elderly man comes walking by, and I recognize the accent. I said, that's a Canadian. And he asked me, he saw me looking at the toboggans, the knit hats, and I'm not going to try to imitate the Canadian accent again. I can't do it. I've heard it for years, but I can't say sorry. Oh, sorry. That's about all I can do. The rest of it I can't do. He goes, oh, do you think it's going to snow this winter or something like that? I said, oh no, maybe. And he said, are you going to get all those hats? I said, I'm thinking about it. He said, you won't need all those hats. I said, well, I might get them anyway. So I got my hats, and he was checking out, and then I don't know why. So I was walking out to the car with my purchases, and I put them all in the trunk. And he saw me going back in. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, I forgot something, because I was in the middle of putting him in the trunk, and I thought, I'm going to go get that skeleton. There was only one. I'm going to go grab it. So I went in there and I bought him. And the man was still sitting in his car, and he goes, "What did you buy? What did you buy now?" I said, "I bought a skeleton." "Oh, what?" "A skeleton." I don't know why he was so invested in my purchase. "I bought a skeleton." He just shook his head and drove off. I have no idea who he was. But look, he's got his little hands up. Look. He's fully posable, and you can hang him if you want to. He's got a loop that you can attach to the top of his skull if you want to have him hanging, like you can pose him or you can hang him, whatever you want to do. It's 5 feet tall. The joints hold a lifelike position. Comes with a loop on top of skull for hanging display. Simple assembly required. Indoor or covered outdoor use. So what we do with our other posable skeleton, usually on Halloween night, we will set him up out in the driveway, usually in a chair or something, or we'll have him leaning against the car or hanging onto the lamppost, or we try to pose him different ways every year. So this year we'll have an extra one that we can pose. I didn't put him out there last year because actually last year, Halloween night, it was very stormy and rainy, so I'm hoping we have better weather this year because the weather last year was horrible. It was terrible. So we'll have 2 skeletons. I was so happy to find this. This is a big old guy too. Look how big he is. 5 feet tall. So I was very happy to find that. I just wanted to share that with you. Let's see. I'll tell you about my job. In case you didn't know, I started a new full-time job on May 1st of this year, and that's when my upload schedule kind of changed a little bit. I don't upload as often as I used to because I'm just busy all the time, and but it's going great. It's going really well. I do enjoy what I do. It's kind of a niche industry, so I'm not going to go into detail about what it is or what I do. It's an office job. It's very different from what I have been doing. I was a patent paralegal for 16 years, doing patent prosecution, and the attorney I worked for he grew up in Canada, and so he was getting close to retirement, and so the work was kind of dwindling down, and so I had told him, I'm going to start looking for another job. He said, "I understand." So I decided it was a good time to kind of make a break and do something. I wanted to do something different. I just, I was at a point where I was kind of burnt out on that. I didn't really want to do that anymore. I wanted to try something totally different. So I found something totally different, and there was a real learning curve. It was very stressful for a while. It's kind of smoothing out though. It's really kind of smoothing out. I'm feeling much more comfortable and confident with what I'm doing. So I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to be a good thing. So that's going well. Eventually I will reach a point where I can work from home 2 days a week, but I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. I need to be in the office. But eventually I will be working from home 2 days a week. So that'll be nice. So everything here is good. I only have one kid in school now. He is a freshman in high school, which is crazy. If you've been around this channel for a while, that little kid that you saw in some of my early videos, he's in high school now. He's in high school. It's crazy how fast they grow up. And my older son is out of school. He's just working. So he graduated high school last June, and he's thinking about going back to school in the spring. But for now, he's just working. So he's going to be working and going to school in the spring, as far as I know. So everything's good. Let's see. Oh yeah. How could I didn't forget. I'm kidding. How can I forget to tell you about the latest temporary, maybe permanent addition to the family? This past Friday night, I was upstairs, I was up here, and my younger son came running out. And he said, Mom, there's a new cat at the back door. I said, what do you mean? Now, keep in mind, we have 3 cats that live here in this house. 3 cats that I know of. I think there are 3. There are at least 3 that live in this house. There are 4 additional cats who come to visit. 3 of them live down the street. One of them is like the local outdoor man / stray cat. That's Wally. Wally comes around occasionally. And there are 3 other cats. And we name all these cats. There's Nobu, Wallix, and Clark. The other 3, that's not their names. Actually, they have their names on their collar. And it's not their names at all. Actually, we found out Clark's name is Ramona. I'm like, I'm sorry. You've been Clark for about 3 years. Your name is Clark. I do apologize. I hope that's okay. Clark has no tail. He's gray and white, and he has no tail. And the other 3 are just, they come in different combinations. Sometimes it's just one. Every now and then they'll all 4 be out there. So when I get up in the morning, I go downstairs, and I'm getting ready for work. I put out food for who I go and I check, like, who's out here. I leave them food and water. Wally sometimes will come in and eat out of my cat's bowls, and then I get a little thing of wet food for my cats, and I split it up among them, just a little bit of wet food. And so that's our routine. But yeah, Friday night, my son said, Mom, there's a new cat at the back door. I've never seen this cat before, but it really wants to come in. So I went downstairs, and at the door was this little cat, this tiny little gray and white cat. And he's just screaming. He's just hollering. He's not a kitten, but he's not grown. I'd say he's less than a year old. He's small. And he's just yelling at the back door. He was skin and bones. He was starving. But he also wanted to be petted. He wanted to be petted so bad. But he was scared. So you'd try to approach him, and he would kind of back up, and then he would come back and back up. And he really wanted to get close. So my son and I went out there, and we just sat on the patio, like, let's just go out there and sit down and just be still. And we had a bowl of food out there. I said, just be still. He'll come around. Or at first we thought it was a she. She'll come around. So the cat did. It came, and it wanted to eat, but it also wanted to be petted. So it would go and get a mouthful of food and then come back over to us. You just couldn't make any sudden moves or anything. You could pet the cat. And it was just starved for affection. It was just so desperate to be petted and loved, but it was also hungry. But it didn't want you to touch it while it ate. And going, cat, it's okay, it's okay. So we just sat out there, and the cat ate, and then would come over to us, and then would eat. It was just going back and forth, back and forth. I moved the food bowl over closer, and that's when I discovered, okay, this cat does not want to be touched while it eats. Just, okay, all right, don't try to pet it while it eats. Just let it do whatever it needs to do. So, and then the cat wanted to come in the house, and my son said, can we bring him in, please? I said, we don't know anything about this cat. It could be crawling with fleas. This cat could belong to somebody. I don't know that we need to just let it in the house, So we left some food out there, and the cat ate a little bit, and then it just left. Like it wasn't there. I said, well, maybe it was just passing through. I don't know. It was very bony. You could feel all the bones in his back and his hip bones. And oh man. And his tail doesn't work. His tail just kind of hangs. He can't move his tail at all. It doesn't seem to hurt him, but he can't move his tail. So that was kind of weird. So the next day, on Saturday, okay, shut up. On Saturday, okay, we were at home, and the cat came back. So my son went out there and sat on the patio with the cat, have food out there, sit out there. And I said, can you see if it's a boy or a girl? because it's like rolling around, He said, "Oh, that's a boy." I said, "How can you tell?" He said, "He's got twig and berries." I said, "Oh," because with the tail hanging down, you couldn't really see, So it's an unneutered male cat. Okay. So the cat is just desperate to come in the house, just desperate to come in the house. So I said, "Okay, all right, fine. Let him come in for a minute." I didn't know if he could use a litter box. I didn't know what he would do. He shows absolutely no aggression toward any of the other cats. He is the most gentle, loving little cat I have ever seen. He's like a little cuddle bug. He just wants to get in your lap. He'll try to get up here and lay down. He just wants to be all, like he'll try to lay down on you, and he's the sweetest little thing. So my son said we should name him Marty, after Marty McFly in the Back to the Future movies. I said, "Marty." "Okay, we'll name him Marty. That works." So Marty came in the house and just made himself at home. He just came in and he did not want to go back out. And it was raining a little bit later that day, and I thought, I can't put him out. It's raining out there. It's nasty. So he's been in the house ever since. He's in the house now. He has just completely made himself at home. He eats and he sleeps a lot, but I will tell you, tonight he's really started to play some. That's the first I've really seen him play, like run around and play. And I have this little wooden bowl of cat toys in the living room. He had all the toys out of the bowl, and they were just scattered all over the living room floor like a little kid had been in there playing with toys. He had them all over the floor. So my cats, you might wonder, well, what do your cats think of this cat? Well, Boob, her name is Olive. Nobody calls her that. She has like 14 names. We call her Boop, like B-O-O-P, Boop. We call her Boop. Boop at first tried really hard to intimidate him and but he doesn't run. If another cat comes up to him and tries to display like aggression, he just flops on the floor. He'll just lay it down and expose his belly. He's like, I want nothing. I want no trouble with you. I want no trouble. I'm not going to do anything. He does that with all of them. So Boop figured out pretty quickly, well, he's not going to run. She wants him to run so she can chase him. He doesn't run. He just flops on the floor and just lays there like he's playing dead or something. So she got bored with him pretty quickly. Now she doesn't care. They walk up and bump noses, and they don't swat or hiss or anything. So she's fine with him. Evie growled and hissed at him some, and earlier today I put some treats out and he went to sniff the treats. He doesn't like cat treats, and he doesn't like wet food. It's funny. It's so funny. I made steak the other night. I thought it was good. My kids thought it was good. I cut off a little piece and I offered it to him. I put it on the floor. He just started trying to cover it up. Like, well, I know what you think of my cooking. He does the same thing with wet food and treats. He tries to cover the floor like he thinks it's poop. He doesn't like treats or wet food. He likes the dry food just fine, but he won't eat wet food or treats. So that was interesting. Like, well, then we won't have competition over that, so that's good. So tonight he just went in to sniff the treats that I put down for Evie, and I think he startled her. Like he was just right there, and she kind of went, ugh, and she sort of popped him on the head. And he just flops on the floor, just boop. And she just ate her treats. I think he just startled her. So initially she growled at him a little bit and hissed at him, but she's already stopped doing that. Pumpkin just avoids him, although if he has his back to her, she tries to sniff him, but if he turns around, she hisses and runs away. She does the same thing to Wally. She likes to hiss him when he's not looking, or she likes to sniff him when he's not looking, but if he turns around, she'll run away. That's the only interaction she really has with them. So she hasn't tried to hurt him or anything. She's curious. And Evie too, she'll watch him from a distance. She's fascinated by this cat. But are they going to be best friends? I don't know. I don't know. But they all, I have never integrated a cat into my house that easily before. Oh, and I decided, well, if you're going to be in here, oh, and he does know how to use a litter box. I was a little concerned about that. But he has no problem using the litter box. He seems very, very familiar with that concept, so that was good. I did have to get another litter box, though. So now I have 4 litter boxes. Okay. This is all while we're trying to figure out what to do with this cat. I still don't know. So, but I thought if he's going to be in the house, I want to put a Seresto collar on him. It's for fleas, you know, because all my cats have Seresto collars. They're great. You only have to change them out once every 8 months, and they work wonderfully. So I got a Seresto collar. I was afraid I would have to fight this cat to put this collar on him. Nope. I have never put a collar on a cat that easily. He was sitting there. He was just kind of looking around. And I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, Marty." And I had the collar already kind of adjusted. I slipped it over his head, and just for a split second, he was just kind of like, "What was that?" Anyway, he didn't care. He let me adjust it, and he just walked off. He wasn't even freaked out by it being on his neck or anything. I said, "There's no way it was that easy." My cats fight me every time I have to change their collar. Pumpkin, I have to trap her in the bathroom in there where there's no carpet that she can dig into to get away. I have to trap her in the bathroom to change her collar out, and she always hisses at me. She hisses at me every time I do it. She doesn't really put up a fight, but she always hisses at me. It takes like 3 seconds. Like, cat, calm down. It's okay. And the other two, I just kind of have to land on them. Like, I'll get my knees on either side of them, and I cut the old collar off, and then I slip the other one on and adjust it really quick, and then let them go. With Marty, I didn't even have to do that. I didn't have to hold him at all. It was crazy. So, all right. I decided no matter what, I said, if we don't keep this cat, I want to find a good home for this cat because he deserves it. I don't know why anybody would get rid of this sweet cat. Nobody in the neighborhood knows anything about him. He doesn't belong to anyone. I've checked around. Nobody knows where this cat came from. He just showed up at my back door Friday night. It doesn't belong to anybody around here as far as I know. So what I'm going to do is, I thought, okay, I'm going to call a vet and make an appointment to get him neutered and get a rabies shot. So I called him, and I said, you know, I also want to get his tail looked at to see if we need to do anything about it. Or, you know, what do you think is wrong with his tail, and what should we do? Should we do anything? So I was told that I have to make a separate appointment for the tail issue. But he does have an appointment to get neutered and get his rabies shot tomorrow. So he has to go to the vet in the morning. I got the cat carrier already. I'm thinking with this cat, you could just set that cat carrier on the floor, open the door, and he would just walk in it. He loves to go into little spaces like that. It's going to be nothing to get him in there. And he's small and very easy to handle. So if he doesn't go in there, we can get him in there with no trouble. It's not like what we've been through with Wally. That's been a whole other adventure that I don't have an answer for at this point. I even hired a professional to try to catch him. The professional couldn't even catch him. He's like Houdini. You cannot catch this cat. It's wild. But anyway, so he's going to go to the vet tomorrow. And I've been, if you want to see some video of him, on my vlog channel, the last 2 videos show Marty, so you can see what he looks like. He's just so sweet. You can see him moving around more than just a picture, you know. But, so my kids they've both voted to keep Marty. They said, we need to keep Marty. I said, well, if we do, I'm not going to be the only one scooping litter boxes and cleaning up after this cat. You're going to have to help me. So, and my kids do a lot around the house. They do. But they hate dealing with the litter boxes. So you're going to have to start dealing with the litter boxes too. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet just go ahead and see how the appointment goes tomorrow. And we can bring him home tomorrow afternoon. My son is going to pick him up when they're all done. Because I'll be at work, but my son's going to pick him up. So, my older son. Can you believe that? He's been driving now for 2 years. Like 2.5 years he's been driving. He's had his license and been driving. I know, it's crazy. So, yeah, so it's been pretty crazy. But he's very quiet. Like right now, he's not meowing and having a fit. If you leave the room, initially when you left the room, he would start yowling and like he was scared that you had left him. Now, he doesn't do it at all. He'll just go lie down somewhere and go to sleep. I will check in on him during the day, and the security cameras, I'll look around. I can look around the house on the different cameras, and he's usually somewhere asleep. I have found the spots he likes to sleep in. So I don't know what he went through before he got here, but I think he was just very tired and hungry, because pretty much all he wants to do is eat and sleep. And tonight was the first night I've seen him actually kind of play, like a kitten would do. So he was playing a little bit, and with all the toys scattered out, he must have been playing before I got home too. So yeah, that's the newest thing here. I know a lot of people have asked for a theoretical neighborhood update. I want to do one for you, but right now, ever since I started this job, like I've just had my hands full with everything, and I'm not here as much. So theoretically, allegedly, I don't see and hear as much because I'm not here during the day. But I may or may not have some stuff for you, maybe in a week or so. Theoretically, there have been some things, that may or may not have happened in the neighborhood. I'll have to tell you about them one of these days. But my life has been very different since I started this new job, and it's been a big adjustment. I still go to the gym, and I have other things I have to do, and it's a very busy schedule, but I'm getting used to it, and I like it. It's just sometimes I have a hard time fitting everything in the week that I have to do, but the job is going well, and everything here is good as far as I know, and we may or may not end up with a 4th cat. Wow. And he's young, so he's still got a lot of growing to do. I think he's going to be a pretty good sized cat. So I'm not sure how it's going to go, but he's very happy here. He seems to be very comfortable here, and he fits in like he's been here forever. I mean, he just came in the house and made himself at home and did not want to leave. And he's just the sweetest cat. So that's kind of been the theme of the week, is Marty. So yeah, so he has his appointment tomorrow, and then we'll just go from there and see. Hopefully it goes well. And then I'll have to make a separate appointment to get his tail looked at to figure out what's going on with that tail, because I don't know. I just want to make sure he's not in pain. He moves around just fine. It doesn't seem to bother him or hinder him in any way. But the tail just kind of flops, like he can't move it at all. It's just like it's just dead. Like it just doesn't move at all. And I just mainly want to make sure he's not in pain and make sure there's nothing we need to do for him. So we'll do a separate appointment for that, but we'll let him recover from this first. So yeah. But I just wanted to take a minute to say hey and give you a little update on everything. Everything's going great. Yeah, it's not really much else. That's about it. I think that's a lot. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope things are going well for you. And I heard this the other day, and I wanted to share it with you before I go. You should try this yourself. If you really want to make somebody's day, if you really want to see somebody smile, if you have someone in your life that does a lot for you or for anyone, I want you to, not face to face, don't do it by text or whatever, just next time you talk to them, tell them how proud you are of them. Tell them that you are really proud of them and everything they do, and that you really appreciate it. Just say that and watch them light up. I did that for somebody. I heard that in a video. Just, if you want to make somebody feel really special, if you do have somebody in your life and they do a lot for you, or for, they're always working and doing things for others, take a minute out of your day and tell them how proud you are of them. And face to face, and just watch them light up when you tell them that. And I did that for somebody in my life that evening at dinner, and oh my gosh, I thought they were going to cry. Like, it really just made their whole day to have someone say that to them. And I just wanted to tell you before I go that I'm proud of you and everything that you do, because a lot of times, we work hard and we give 110% of ourselves every day, and we feel like nobody sees it and nobody appreciates it. Well, I appreciate you, and I'm proud of you, and I just wanted you to know that. And I hope that you can tell somebody else that too. Somebody in your life that does a lot. Just let them know how much you care. You don't have to spend a bunch of money or do anything elaborate. Just tell them, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you and everything that you do. Thank you. I appreciate it. And just watch. It's amazing. So thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you're having a great week, and hope you have a great weekend coming up. And I'll see you again really soon.